everyone, this is Greyshot17,
I'm Ace.
and we're doing a review of Call of the Wild, 20th Century Fox's new movie based on a 115-year-old book that came out, actually a little bit more, 117 I think. It's a book that came out in 1903 based on an 1897 journey of a dog journey to the wilderness and eventually becoming more and more primal in that journey.
That book is at least 10 years old.
Yes it is. So it's prime for a movie adaptation. There's actually been a lot. The last one was with Christopher Lloyd.
It was 1935.
No, it was in 2009, and it was in 3D. Part of the 3D trend.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, the last film adaptation was in 1935.
Yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot of adaptations of Call of the Wild. So anyway, this newest one has a different take. This has an entirely CGI dog in the mix. And of course, that brings its own plus and minuses. Plus, you have a lot more possible emotion, craft, and stuff the dog could do without being injured. We don't want to hurt animals in any way, shape, or form. By the way, but again, does come with its own negatives, such as what if there's possibility of negative-looking CGI. Ace, what did you think of this film?
Well, Greyshot, after careful viewing of this movie,
Yes,
and seeing it in the theater, contemplating myself, I
Yep.
came to the correct conclusion that this movie is easily one of the worst I've ever unfortunately sat through in theaters.
it is bad. It is very, very well. Okay, it's not very bad, but it's bad.
No, it's very bad.
It's okay.
Let's not mince words here.
Let's explain.
It's bad.
First, the story's around Buck. This is motion performed the same gentleman who did Kong and Kong Skull Island. He also Groot. Like many different performances done previously, and his name is Terry Notary. I want to say. Also, Harrison Ford stars in this. Also, Dan Stevens as Hal, which is the human villain. You also have Omar Sy as Parut, accompanied by Kari Gee as Francois. I want to hopefully thinking that right. But anyway,
Francois.
Thank you. I'm terrible at names. But in any case,
Francois.
if you are expecting this movie to be a Harrison Ford-led movie based on the posters, no. Buck is center stage, and as well, Harrison Ford's only in the second half of the movie.
No, he shows up in the beginning too.
For a moment.
For about 10 seconds.
And he narrates, which is pointless. It's
all right, listen. Having him narrate was a very poor decision.
Yes. As well, the CGI on Buck, which they don't use a live animal, they use CGI, can be okay to bad. Some shots are fine if this was an anime movie. Some shots are bad. Some shots are honestly bad.
Oh, no.
When the dog first showed up, he looked at me and was like, what have you brought me to?
It was so bad.
This movie also has a pacing issue. There's a lot of things that happen, but then also nothing happens.
You could cut out 40% of that movie, and it would not change anything.
The issue...
Non-exaggeration.
The issue with this movie is there's not a lot of character depth to the human characters, and even though Buck doesn't talk, and he does have a lot of decent moments. I'll give him that. I still thought that he was still... How do I say this? It didn't set up Buck as the movie wanted him to be portrayed. Like a sophisticated, lazy animal. It didn't really have that. Also, there's a lot of weird undertones in this movie I didn't care for, and I get it's an older, but still, even so. This movie's also not really that dark. I was expecting a lot more violence, honestly, especially, Call of the Wild type material. Most of the material is just mentioned or cut away from. There are scenes where dogs are hit. They cut away from that. Can't show a dog being hit. No, as far as I recall in the movie, no dog is really seriously injured, even when dogs fight each other.
Not on screen.
No. And then as well, a lot of the more severe moments, like I said, are cut away, so you don't see anything, which I think undermines the tone this is trying to get. This shot above me, where you can see right now, I think is fine if this was a still frame. It's like, okay, is that real? Is it not?
It's bad.
But in motion, it's
so jarring.
Absolutely can tell that this is fake.
The problem here isn't just the dog looks jarring, it's the dog does not move like a dog.
Okay, go into that.
They tried to do this thing where, it's almost like Scooby-Doo, except but Scooby talks, so it's, humanish, but, it doesn't cross an uncanny valley.
Yeah.
This dog acts like a legit human, and then still acts like a dog. And it's really, really, really just takes you out of it.
Yeah, and again, like a still shot like this, not moving, not doing anything, can look fine. The problem is in motion, the dog looks. The weird thing is there's a villain dog named Spitz that literally looks like the villain from Balto, which is by far a better movie than this.
I do like huskies.
And is probably the best looking dog in this. Most animals in this movie are CGI. Best looking thing.
You know, I find it really weird this movie really shied away from animal violence with CGI, considering a lot of old PG movies did have animal violence in it. Balto had a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
Rescuers Down Under, The Secret of Nymph.
Yeah. Did you like the white rabbit that got bitten at the neck by the husky and there was no blood on his teeth or the fur?
Yeah, I hated that. I actually didn't think the rabbit died when he first did it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, the rabbit's alive.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's like, what?
It's so dumb.
Moving on from that, I did enjoy the music. I want to say the music's from the same guy, after doing a little research, from How to Train Your Dragon. John Powell did this.
It's not bad, but...
Yeah, John Powell did do it.
The problem with the music is the music's bad. It's just like the scenes it's used in are so slow.
Yeah. This movie has a pacing issue where it's an hour and 40-minute film and it feels like 5 hours.
Halfway, like we were halfway through and I was already like, can we leave? Like I want to be gone.
Wow. This is the same director from How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch.
No. Well, let's see what he directed.
That's what he directed. How to Train Your
Mulan,
Dragon and Lilo and Stitch.
Fantasia. Lilo Stitch?
The Croods.
The Croods was not bad.
No, it's
not. The
not.
Croods was actually not bad. I actually enjoyed The Croods.
How did he go from... Like this, like How to Train Your Dragon has perfect pacing.
If I had to guess, it's because it's live action.
Yeah, maybe. But you know what? That also explains the narration from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's not narration to the entire How to Train Your Dragon. It's the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
In this, there's narration. It does make sense how the person would know. Like, Toothless in that movie
that's
explaining
dumb. Well, especially
the world. This movie...
Hiccup explaining.
Sorry.
Not Toothless.
Sorry, Hiccup. My apologies. This movie, Harrison Ford is explaining Buck's journey. Which, by the way, is up to Alaska, where Harrison Ford is trying to find peace.
No, it's not Alaska.
There's also gold and a bunch
it's Canada.
Well, they go through Canada.
No, they're in Canada.
No, they get to the other side, I thought.
Yukon's in Canada.
I swear I thought this was they get to up to Alaska. Oh, nope, you're right, it's Canada. My apologies.
Yeah, Yukon's in Canada.
I thought they went so far north they got to Alaska.
No, you have to go west to get to Alaska.
Okay, my apologies. My apologies. You beat me there. But look, I'm not. This movie can look gorgeous. I'll give it that. It has some good scenic shots.
Then again, but the problem is though, it's like they use the actual scenes from the nature there, and you have to try to make that look bad. So congrats, you didn't screw up an already great establishing shot. What would have been really a nice scene?
What?
They used the Aurora Borealis more. They didn't really use it.
Yeah.
It's one of the most defining features, and they don't even use it.
They use it actually more during the fight scene. Isn't that where it's at?
Yeah, but it's not the main focus. Also, you know what? Like, on hindsight, you know what they really didn't use a lot of?
What?
The water.
Well, they did. I think that's because water is well, actually, they used a decent amount. There's the canoe scene and the underwater.
Yeah, because you've seen like it was kind of iffy.
The snow looked good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but okay, that's the thing. The CGI can look good, and there's a lot of scenes where it looks bad. There's a transition shot where it goes day and night, and looks. And
that looks so bad.
You can tell they just
filtered the damn thing.
Yeah. And look, I'll be 100% honest. Harrison Ford has the depth in the movie that
of
could
a wet
be a
paper
good
bag.
Could be a good character with his son. Well, I won't get into spoilers, but you can kind of figure things out, put two and two together. The problem in this movie is no one else has depth. There's a villain in this movie that shows up once again halfway through, more than halfway through.
Listen.
Yeah.
I really want to get into the spoilers, so I say we go into our rating.
Okay. All right. So overall, pacing bad, storytelling
terrible,
bad,
very bad.
The main characters bad,
poor.
But I would say the actors tried. None of the actors are bad in this. I would say or maybe just a couple. But I would say that what's her name? I want to make sure I get these.
Which female?
I want to make sure I get these right. Carrie G and Omar Shah as Parut. Those two actually take up the first probably good chunk of the movie. I really enjoyed their dynamic. I really enjoyed them acting. I didn't like what they were given, and I thought they can be a little bit cheesy, but you know what? They pulled it off. And I liked them until Harrison Ford finally came in. But that being said, I didn't like what they were saying. I didn't like the dialogue. It was so. This movie is generic on TV.
It wasn't even generic. It looks like it was intentionally dumbed down for a younger audience.
This is a $125 million movie, and it feels like something from a Disney Channel original movie.
No, I actually argue it's worse than that.
Depends on which movie.
Because this had actually good source material.
I mean, look, High School Musical, good. A lot of other things.
High School Musical was great. The Timmy Turner live action movie was great.
That's not Disney.
Yeah,
That's Nickelodeon.
Yeah, same thing.
God dang it. Anyway, what's your rating? Ace, what's your rating?
Ace will give it 3 walnuts out of 10 walnuts.
All right, I will also give it a 3 out of 10. I find this movie has couple redeeming qualities in terms of the actors trying, some decent CGI in some spots. The music is probably the best part of this movie, but the characters, I wish there was more depth. Buck, I think on paper would be fine, but I don't know. I think it's just over-commits of dialogue. I just don't think they watch it.
I mean, like, a 3 to me is like when I say something's a 3, to me that's like, I'm never going to watch this again intentionally. Like, if you said, hey, we're going to watch, I'll be like, no, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
A 3 to me means, like, there might have been a couple areas where I thought they did okay in. Yeah. But
there's some bad pacing where it seems like one shot.
It's not even bad pacing. There's no pacing. Yeah. It's either really good action, and I mean good action really loosely.
Yes.
Like there's something happening. By the way, the action's not. We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
And then it's just boring.
Yeah. But the other thing is also the fact that I would be fine if they would. Yeah, I think what makes it boring is it's so generic. It is absolutely so generic that it just drains you of energy.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I wanted to sleep during the movie.
Like literally every single thing in this movie is you've seen better. But in any case, 3 out of 10. That's what we give it. Now we're going into spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, now's your warning.
Turn away.
Yes. So spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about the main plot points, such as the avalanche just disappeared next to the town. When they were coming in, the avalanche just fades from view. It's like, where'd it go?
They wouldn't have seen that, actually. Other side of the mountain.
They were coming around.
No, the cave went through the mountain.
No, but the avalanche was still on the... You could see the avalanche coming down the other side.
Don't think about it too much. We're putting more thought into it than they did. But it brings up a good point about the action. The action has no tension whatsoever because Buck is... See, this is also a religious movie because Buck follows his patron wolf god deity.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not making that up. He honest to God does. And anytime he is in any action whatsoever, no matter what, he shows up and tells him what to do.
Yep.
Unironically. And it solves it every time. So there is no tension in the movie whatsoever. During the fight with the sled dog leader, Wolf God shows up, imbues him with Wolf God strength, he wins the fight. Avalanche, Wolf God shows him a hidden passageway. Trapped under the ice, Wolf God shows the weak spot. Yeah. It is terrible.
Yeah, it's like, is this the actual call of the Wild, which is the name, which is also in like every single movie you've ever seen, from Stuart Little to like every single.
No, Stuart Little's a city boy.
No, there's a movie called Stuart Little 3, Call of the Wild.
No, there's the first and the second one.
There's a third one.
No, there's the first and the second one.
There's a third one that's animated.
No, there's not a third one.
We don't talk about it.
There's not a third one. Stop it.
All right.
Stop ruining my childhood.
So anyway, the villain in this literally after the male team literally got disbanded because why?
Okay, so this is another point I hate is they disband the male team because they're like, the telegraph is being built. We don't need you anymore. But they don't actually build the telegraph. It would have been cool, in my opinion, when they've been doing their snow routes, they would have seen the telegraph being built, and then the guys getting more and more worried. But basically, the way the movie frames says, hey, we're going to build it. It's not built yet. You're fired. Yeah. Even though there's no way to get mail anymore.
Yeah. That felt really... there's a lot of things in this movie that are just so...
Also, I would like to point out the Iditarod and the sled dogs were made a constant form of travel, even with the telegraphs on the route.
Can we also point out the fact they got a sled dog that they didn't even know could act like a sled dog and they trained the sled dog?
Yeah, that actually pissed me off because they're very rigorous. Poodles, for instance, can be good sled dogs, but you have to train them. I find it really dumb. He literally hooked the dog on, expecting
him... Which is why... When Spitz? What the fuck is that thing's name?
Spitz!
My favorite dog in the movie.
Spitz!
When he's pissed off at the other dogs, because okay, get in
line. Oh, by the way, they make Spitz into an asshole for no reason.
Halfway through his scenes, he just turns to an asshole. It's like, why? I thought it was such an interesting dynamic because they really have him being like, okay, now I have to deal with this guy, and Spitz is trying, but then all of a sudden there's a montage that happens, and he's just turned out to be like a villain or like this big dog. And
it's also a really big disconnect because you get the sense that Spitz is acting like an actual animal, and then Buck is acting like a human would in that situation.
But then Spitz
which is really weird.
Waits for him to go and chase a rabbit, and is like, all right, now I'm gonna kill you, even though he saved his owner.
Oh, also,
his owner was drowning, which they switched
also
in the book.
when they're fighting, it almost looks like a good scene, and then Harrison Ford goes, "In a pack, there can only be one pack leader, and Spitz has had enough."
Yeah.
Verbatim. That's how. And it was like, I literally was going, "Yeah, no shit."
It's one of those things where you just question: did they not trust the audience?
Show and tell.
Yeah.
Not tell and tell.
Yeah.
Like, you show it. You show to tell.
Also, I think what this movie needed was less dialogue, more visuals.
I would have been fine with dialogue if they weren't talking to the freaking dog like it could understand them.
Yes, I would also be fine with them in terms of
You know what's
talking
funny?
if it was interesting dialogue. Not
How to Train
really.
Your Dragon. That is how the dialogue is between Hiccup and Toothless. Hiccup actually talks to Toothless. But in that world, we are led to believe that dragons are actually intelligent.
Yeah. Also, he doesn't talk to him initially. He does some basic stuff. He's not like talking like, "Oh, hey, buddy, this is a map. We're going here." Like literally.
No, they do that. No, they do that.
They're telling dogs in this movie, "Hey, we're going here."
Like a mission briefing.
We have to go up, and it's like, what are you doing? There's a point in this where the villain, by the way, who overworks the dogs, eventually Buck.
Which is really dumb. I don't understand
why.
why.
Freed by Harrison Ford in this weird.
Also, Harrison Ford caught to him really quickly.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, there's no sense of distance.
It's
in that
funny because it looks like, and I could be wrong. From Harrison Ford's camp, it looks like he just went around where they went literally up the hill and came down, but they could have just went around and probably saved like a half
Oh,
day.
by the way, the main villain who ends up killing Harrison
Makes
Ford
no sense.
Makes no sense because he's like, I need to find a hidden gold fairy tale, but they look so wealthy, and they don't set him up as being like desperate or anything for wealth. They he just wants gold.
Except for
like
Harrison Ford,
crazy.
no other character has depth. There's maybe one.
I'd even argue Harrison Ford doesn't have a lot of depth.
But that's the thing. He has something. Can you really explain Perut's background, or anyone else?
He doesn't want the mail to be late.
That's it. That's the only thing you can say. Oh my God.
He also believes in Buck for some reason.
Yeah, he believes in Buck, not his dog that he's had for 5 years. He knows his dog. Also, I love how he knows that dog, and he says, I can't find this dog. Well, I guess that's fine. When
He just leaves him.
When Buck, the dog he knows for what, not even 6 months, it's like,
2 days.
Like a few days, is like, no, my dog. It's like, really? You're getting upset? Like, I know, look, save the person, fantastic. I'm 100%.
Because it's really funny, because, like, they would have treated those dogs like tools.
Yeah, but I would at least, you would figure that, okay, you know the dog for a week saves your, I'm assuming, wife.
No, they're not married.
Or girlfriend, whatever the
Friends
case
with
may be.
benefits.
Whatever. Anyway, you figured that they would be at the same level, but all of a sudden he's like, I don't care about this other dog, let's go. It's like, what?
It's just bad writing.
Yeah.
Also, the whole shipping Buck out of California to the Yukon was not needed because it adds nothing to the movie, and it's so boring. They should have just shipped him off and like put him in a crate, black cut, he's cut out, and they just start beating him with the cudgel. That should have been that scene.
The reason why it's unneeded is because they literally treat this dog like shit. And you figure if they're trying to sell him for a sled dog, they don't want to sell a malnourished giant dog because they'll die instantly once pulling a sled. Like, you probably don't want that because, again, there's a reason why giant dogs aren't used as sledding.
I don't know why they beat the dogs. I don't know why. It does not make sense.
Yeah, not high endurance. And if you make that dog malnourished, it's not going to go very far. A couple other small things would be the fact that they say, like, dogs are, like, they broke free or something like that, but you never see a dog get hit. No dogs die in this.
No,
literally.
They say they don't, but they
just
do.
Walks into distance, unless his dead body's on the ground. That's his spirit. Whatever, that's cool. But other than that, like every other dog that you don't see them die. And like, this is Call of the Wild.
The original.
Let it actually have some depth.
The original.
Show some violence.
So the main villain takes the original sled team out onto an ice river that Harrison Ford says is going to break because it's slow. He goes with his two friends as well.
Yeah.
And the next time you see him, he comes back, he's all disheveled, looks like he lost a bunch of stuff, and he sucker punches the main character and goes, "Oh, you took my lead dog, blah, blah, blah." And he says, my original team of dogs ran off. Doesn't say anything about the two humans, though, which I found weird. Translation,
they died.
They all fell through the ice and died.
Yeah.
They all fell through the ice and died. They're just not going to say it. Which I think is a really,
you have that.
really pussy
You have the guy that beats up Buck, and also, weirdly enough, Buck escapes on the boat, and they're just fine with it.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, Buck, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. And then also, after, also you would figure he would realize he's on a boat, but again, whatever. He's never been on a boat before. Whatever, I don't care. The other thing would also be when he does escape. Again, he escapes twice, and this time he's like, okay, you can take me back. That's cool. It doesn't make sense. Like, Harrison Ford finds him, and Buck helps the guy out, but then also it's like, no, I should probably be running after this.
Harrison Ford is dog whisperer.
But Harrison Ford's whole goal is to go find peace and quiet. He gave his house away to his wife, and he's just trying to find peace and quiet because he just can't deal with the fact his son died. Finds a relationship with Buck. They meet up. Buck becomes more wild with wolves.
Oh, that's also another thing I really want to bring up. So in that time frame, it was not uncommon for you to lose a lot of children to illness.
Yeah.
Like just so you know, it was expected for you to lose infants at the drop of a hat.
I think it was like 8 or something. It was enough to where he could see a map and actually plan stuff out.
Kids look like 9 to me.
Yeah, whatever the case may be.
Was he 12?
I can understand it impacting him. What I can't understand is the fact that he finds a fuck ton of gold and decides, you know what, let me throw half of it. He finds so much gold.
I'm not there for gold. Begins panning for gold every day he's there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, by the way.
I'm not there for gold. Gets enough gold I can fill up my goddamn laundry bag with gold.
When he says he could buy a railroad, it's really funny because he probably could with the amount of gold he has.
Yeah.
It's not just flakes. There's a piece the size of my fist that the dog finds. It goes back in the water, obviously. Yeah. But there's pieces like this, like this big, which is worth like that time like huge amounts of money.
Yeah,
huge.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. I do not understand.
I also find it funny that no other prospector ever decided to look there, even though there's people selling maps about that area. Some down on their luck prospector would 100% go there.
Yeah. It's dumb. It's so dumb.
Because guess what?
Yeah.
It didn't look like a hard journey.
It didn't. Not at all. If that like rich guy, even as disheveled as he was, if he could get there. Also, is there a weird thing that he went to a bar and he wasn't allowed to bring in a gun?
Okay, that is the one part of the movie I will give it props for because it is a notorious falsehood. Almost every single frontier town did not allow you to have guns.
Good to know.
They were all secured away. In fact, so in the movie Tombstone, you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
When the Earps come in with their not the Earps, not white Earps. When the ranchers come in with their guns, they have to be disarmed.
Yeah.
You were not allowed to bring guns into to shoot out the OK Corrals because they brought their guns. So they're not allowed to bring in guns.
Okay, I was just like, that's.
That weird. Was the one part of the movie where I was like, okay, that actually is historically accurate.
Okay.
That was the one part.
There you go. But other than that. Like, again, I feel like this movie you could absolutely skip. There's better movies. Balto.
Don't watch it.
Marley and Me.
Watch Balto. It's Balto is way more hard.
Yeah, the Balto villain's in this for some reason. Again,
or that one movie, I forget what it's called. The dog's name is Searchlight, and the kid's poor, and he's racing to save his family farm.
Better yet, there's a movie on Disney Plus that I watched briefly. It was good. I just never got around to finishing it. It has William Dafoe in it, and it stars the dog that Balto kind of took name recognition for. I forget it's sad that I forget the name.
Oh, it's the dog that ran the
majority
of the route. Balto ran the last part of it.
Yes, but the hardest part and the longest part was run by this dog that I am forgetting right now, which is sad. But I remember Balto as a kids movie.
I want to watch Balto now.
But there's that movie. I think that's why people got mixed up with this. I think that one's probably a lot better.
I'm gonna go watch Balto.
But any capacity. That's it. Again, what do you guys think? Please tell me you did not see this. If you did, put down in the comments down below what you thought. Again, 3 out of 10 star rating, which is, there's a couple good scenes, but like this is a below average film, and we do not recommend you seeing it, except for maybe it's free on a streaming service you already have.
No, I would not even recommend that. It's not worth a watch.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a huge dog fan.
No, there's better dog movies. Go watch Marley. If you go watch Marley and Me, you'll actually cry in that movie.
Oh, or Balto.
Let's go watch Balto.
But in any case, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. It's been Greyshot17.
Ace.
And we'll see you next week for something. Most likely, unless the poll changes, Invisible Man. But we shall see. In any case, we'll see all of you next time. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Josh, Milam, Joey G240, Just Thomas Plays, Spartycus, Rifle, JrChicklis, Pyroshark, Ion, Ollie, Ace, GTA, and Jacob Osweight. Thank you all for your incredible support. This has been Greyshot17 and his amazing patrons, and I'll see you all next time.